For hundreds of years, mysterious reports have been made about large humanoids. Individuals have come forward about their encounters, and in some cases they've even managed to photograph what they saw. These giant creatures have been given the name of Bigfoot, and they're easily one of the most researched and cited cryptids on the planet. However, even though they're witnessed by thousands of people yearly, scientists have said there's no such creatures, and what people are actually seeing is mundane things like everyday wildlife. These creatures usually follow a theme. They stand on two legs and are roughly 7 to 12 feet tall. They have the general appearance of that of a large ape-like creature. Sightings of this beast have persisted for eons, since the time of the Aborigines and their ancient mythological folklore. What's even more startling about these claims is that even in the modern day people are encountering these creatures. All over the globe there have been reports of them, from Tibet, America and even Australia. There's no shortage of stories. Ancient myths credit these creatures as having run-ins with humans, and when this happens it doesn't usually end well. Some have even managed to record some of their mysterious calls, and when given to scientists they have said that humans are unable to make these kinds of noises. The Washington State Department of Transportation posted the following on Twitter. Sasquatch spotted. I'm not superstitious, just a little stitious. Have you noticed something strange on our Sherman Pass SR-20 camera before? If you look closely by the tree on the left there looks to be something. Might be Sasquatch. We'll leave that up to you. One person went on to say the following. Is the story that it's a cardboard cutout that you guys put there because you were bored and wanted to generate some more social media presence? To which the Washington State Department of Transportation replied with the following. It's not a cardboard cutout. I've never been up to the camera. There have been items put in front of the camera by locals in the area for 15 plus years. Just happened to notice this one the other day when I was going to give a road conditions update on the pass. Then this happened. They also said that it wasn't photoshopped. One person said the following. Although this photo may turn out to be fake, I've seen various mysterious creatures in this region. I'm someone that spent over 20 years in the outdoors, and I've only encountered 4 of them. They are very elusive. They'll be gone before you can get close to them. This is why they're notoriously difficult to photograph. I've tried every single time I encountered one on a hike, and each time the photograph looks terrible. They move too fast and are usually too far away to be picked up in a detailed image. I have no doubt in my mind that these ancient creatures exist in small clusters around our planet. I think that soon we'll get proof. However, in all my experiences they don't seem keen on humans, and always try their best to keep a distance. Others, however, have said the image shows gaps in the trees, and this is creating an illusion that something is there. For the last few years, Tom DeLonge has expressed his interest in unidentified flying objects. He said that he's been fascinated with them for years. While on tour, he would read books that explored the possibility of extraterrestrials, and since then he's been hooked. Recently, Tom came forward on Instagram and said that he'd witnessed an unidentified aerial phenomenon. He said the following about his encounter. So last night I get a text from somebody that there was an unidentified aerial phenomenon right off the beach where I live. I ran to my balcony and saw it split into 2 pieces and raised vertically. I grabbed Marie, jumped in my truck and went straight down to the beach. We were the only ones on the beach last night as this light disappeared, reappeared, broke into 3 pieces and stacked vertically, with one little red dot flying around the top and then disappearing for the rest of the evening. This video doesn't show much, but we were up quite late watching the light dance, about half a mile to a mile off the beach. It was huge and it was fiery orange. Of course, I called up Lou Elizondo as I was there, and he was telling me all the things I was supposed to do with the location, geographic details, weather, altitude and distance. Of course, I was completely worthless when it came to these details, but it was a big deal. Lou checked immediately and there was no flights in the area except the one I had my eye on the entire time. No military, no boats, and a bunch of hovering lights that were stacked on top of each other. It was wild. Who knows? Various people were impressed with the footage, even coming forward and saying that they had seen similar objects. Recently, it was announced by Tom DeLonge and his To the Stars Academy that they were working with the US government in regards to their unidentified aerial phenomena discovery. The company has also said they brought on some leading researchers on AI, and that they're working on a new service. To the Stars Academy posted the following: "As part of our AI initiatives, we've built a compelling service for post-ingestion and analysis processing, which marks an instant authentic if it passes human and machine learning analysis. These datasets will help us analyze future ingested media and clean up unnecessary data." Tom then went on to say the following: "This is a very exciting technology we've built. It can be used for numerous defense requirements as well as its primary mission to track unidentified aerial phenomenon." Further saying the following: "I'm proud to be collaborating with the US government on the unidentified aerial phenomenon issue. It's been a lifelong dream to be sitting in this seat, where I and my team at the To the Stars Academy can help understand the issue. First, we start with the US Army testing our anomalous material, purportedly from an unidentified aerial phenomenon crash. Although this is great news in the sense that Tom and his company are making connections, others have worried about the path he's going down. It's important to remember though that a UFO is simply an object that someone cannot identify at that moment in time. As of right now, Tom has said it's an exciting time for him and his company." The universe is a truly massive place. Going back in 2015, Russian astronomers discovered a mysterious signal coming from a star system. This system is only 94 light years away from our planet. The HD 164595 star system has been described as being a possible candidate for intelligent beings. This excited many people as every year we pick up on mysterious signals in the cosmos. What's interesting about this one though is that it's so close to our planet. The Russian team used powerful telescopes to get a closer look at the system. Interestingly, they said it only has one planet, and that it's similar in size to Neptune, which resides in our solar system. The researchers said however that it's likely there could be other planets in this region. Paul Gilster said the following: "What we know of HD 164595 is that it's a star of 0.99 solar masses at a distance of roughly 95 light years in the constellation Hercules, and an estimated age of 6.3 billion years. Interestingly, it was reported that it's not impossible that the signal could be from extraterrestrial life, but the researchers warn not to overhype this discovery, and that we don't know all the facts surrounding the signal. Scientists are trying hard to discover evidence of life out there in the vastness of space. The exploration of space is extremely important for our existence. With enough knowledge and technology out there, we could actually travel through space and live on certain planets in the near future. Recently, scientists have come forward and announced that another mysterious radio signal has caught their attention. This is because the signal has made itself known for the 5th year in a row. What's so mysterious about these signals is that we're usually not able to track them, but the team behind this study have managed to track this signal to a spiral galaxy. This galaxy in question is said to be 495 to 505 million light years away from our planet, and that it's most likely linked to the mysterious fast radio bursts that have confused researchers for years. One of the astronomers who's been working on the case said the following about the signals: "This object's location is radically different from that of not only the previous located repeating fast radio bursts, but also all previously studied fast radio bursts. This blurs the difference between repeating and non-repeating fast radio bursts. It may be that FRBs are produced in a large zoo of locations across the universe, and just require some specific conditions to be visible. This has caused some people to put forward the idea that these signals are being sent out by other civilizations. Although this sounds like an out there theory, this is very possible, with scientists even coming forward and saying this can't be ruled out. One of the astronomers said the following: "The multiple flashes that we witnessed in the first repeating FRB arose from very particular and extreme conditions inside a very tiny galaxy. This discovery represented the first piece of the puzzle, but it also raised more questions than it solved, such as whether there was a fundamental difference between repeating and non-repeating FRBs." The subject of UFOs is a fascinating one. For hundreds of years now, these unidentified flying objects have been observed, but what's interesting is the amount of alleged crashes. Over the years, these crafts have allegedly made contact with the planet. Although each case is different, many of them follow a similar theme. It usually involves strange-looking aircrafts crashing to the ground, and in some cases having the occupants laying around the crash site. Some of the most famous UFO crashes are that of Roswell and the Rendlesham Forest. On the 26th of December 1980 at around 3 AM, an eyewitness saw lights that were close to the Rendlesham Forest. At first, soldiers thought it was a crashed aircraft, but after they entered the forest to investigate, they saw a metallic glowing object that kept moving further away. The military personnel weren't able to catch up to the object. Interestingly, for years people have also come forward with stories of allegedly being taken on board these crafts. The eyewitnesses report that those controlling these crafts are not from Earth, and have features that include 2 large black eyes, grey skin and a large head. Although some of these cases are relatively known, there's one case that details a UFO colliding with the ground, while having an abductee on board. The story goes back to 1971 in California. A local resident reported that she was scared by a really loud sound. Wanting to know what had caused the sound, she quickly ran outside, where many neighbours were also wondering what had caused the loud explosion. They could see a large amount of smoke coming from a few miles away. It's interesting to note that Edwards Air Force Base was nearby. However, one thing the residents picked up on was the mysterious glowing lights in the distance. The residents ventured to the site where the object had crashed. Here they observed a mushroom-shaped craft that was grey in colour, having green flashing lights around it. The residents said the object was unlike anything they'd seen before. The material of the object was smooth, with no markings, doors or windows. They remarked how it looked as though the craft had been created using one sheet of material. Things were about to get even more strange. They then noticed that small grey humanoids were laying on the ground. After observing them, their attention was then brought to a mysterious woman making her way through the debris. She was described as wearing a type of spacesuit. Before anything else could happen, military personnel from the nearby base were arriving at the site. The military told everyone that was in the area that they had to leave or they would be in serious trouble. The residents, along with everyone else, was unsurprisingly interested in what happened in the area. However, there was no information about it in the newspaper or on the local news. The event was covered up by the military and forgotten about. That was until UFO researcher Albert Rose Sales tracked down the mysterious woman. Her name was Lorraine Cordini. She did admit to being the woman at the crash site, but that she didn't remember much of the event. She eventually went under hypnosis and revealed the following: "I was physically on board a mother spaceship working. When it was time to return to Earth, 3 ETs, 1 female essence and 2 male essence were the crew. We were either shot down or crashed near Edwards Air Force Base in California. I remember standing in the wreckage, suddenly in conscious memory, confused, disorientated and filled with sorrow. This was as military personnel kicked the bodies of the 2 dead ETs. I remember hearing in my mind the captain of the mothership saying how sorry she was, and that she couldn't help us in fear of being detected. The female crewman was standing to my left. I had on a pink bodysuit. I cried as the military cursed my dead comrades. I don't yet remember what the parts of the ship looked like. It seems that bizarre discoveries are often made when people least expect it. This is what happened to one man who was hiking close to Death Valley National Park. The man said the following about his strange discovery. On March 31st, 2020, I was attempting to hike from Cerro Gordo Ghost Town to the border of the Death Valley National Park. The hike is around 7 miles each way but extremely steep, and the road was packed with snow. A bobcat had visited the cabin I was staying in the night before, and left tracks all over my porch, so I was paying more attention to the various tracks I came across in the snow. I saw a few foxes and coyotes. The hike was so difficult that I didn't make it all the way to Death Valley, but stopped around 5 miles in because I was afraid of the sun going down and being stranded out in the cold. On my way back to Cerro Gordo, I took a slightly different path. Given that it was uphill and I was cold and exhausted, I mainly kept my eyes on the ground right in front of me. I'd say around 3 miles back into my return trip, I saw a number of huge prints. I stepped over them at first, but went back and was in awe of how big the prints were. I've started learning more about prints, but this didn't look like anything I'd seen in the books. So I took a few pictures and put a quarter down to give some scale, something other animal trackers online told me to do, to help them identify different prints. Also, you can see my shoe print above to give a better idea of size. After I saw it, I was really concerned, and picked up my pace to get back to Cerro Gordo before sunset. I saw the print around 6 PM and the sunsets around 7 PM. I only had 2 miles left, but it was straight uphill in deeper snow. I made it back and started looking online and couldn't find any explanation. Interestingly, this footprint does look eerily similar to the ones discovered by Eric Shipton. Back in 1951, a group of hikers were already making headlines for their attempt to scale Mount Everest. While up here though, instead of snapping photographs of the breathtaking views, they took photos of what appeared to be anatomically correct footprints of a strange humanoid-like creature, living at an incredibly high altitude in the region. The footprints were originally found by Michael Ward. Eric Shipton quickly took high-quality photographs of the prints, while placing down his ice pick next to it to help show the length and width of the incredible find. Many skeptics had argued the authenticity of the footprint, but research analysis have found anatomically correct details so perfect that it would have been impossible to fake. The footprint showed that the big toe of the creature appeared to be the perfect size and volume one would see in a creature of a massive size. The reason behind this is that it would need a toe of this size for adequate balance, and the depth of certain areas of the footprint showed a correct distribution of weight that the hikers would never have been able to accurately reproduce. Today the photographs are seen as one of the most compelling pieces of evidence of the Yeti, and even helps to shed light into its weight, size and evolution. So what do you make of this interesting photo, and have you ever come across a footprint similar to this one? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.